Now that everybody's here, I'd like to call the meeting to order.
This is one of yours.
Anything to add to the agenda?
What?
Anything to add to the agenda?
No,
Or
let me think about that.
I was thinking, go to the floor. Anybody want to say anything before we do our thing? Seeing none, let's move on to business of the day, which is to approve the agreement to spend town highway funds. And Laura just informed me that there's a change from what we were given. And it's not a change in what's intended to be done, but in how it's paid for. Maybe I'll explain, Laura, why that's the case.
That's number 3. So the very first one,
Can you get,
funding for that project,
you might want to get a little closer to the mic.
the funding for that project for the Gunderman Road will be, and then I'll let Keith, yes, he probably, I think he has other explanations. 125,000 to do Gunderman Road. That will come from the CHIPS allotment from New York State. And the other two, the next one is a sum not to exceed 55,000 to be spent on Land Road. And that will come from the regular road repair line. And also the next one, there's 3 segments of Curtis Road that need to be repaired, and I know people kind of explain that all to you. And that, we cannot take that from CHIPS because that has not been, we missed it by a year of being out 10 years. Yes, for 10 years.
How often you can go back to the.
That's right. You can go back 10 years. Now, the chip seal on these 3 projects is something that we can do in these 2 right here because they have a 5-year rule on Surface Street. So we can, once it comes to the chip seal portion of it, which is pretty expensive, that'll come up. That can be charged off to CHIPS. That can be charged off to CHIPS. But the rest of this, those other 2 have got to come from our operating fund.
Cold mix pay.
Okay, Laura, I have a question. So is number 3 going to come from the budget line DA 5110400?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
correct. And not from CHIPS.
Got
And
it.
not from CHIPS. Ouch.
1 and 2 are the same, correct?
It's just right. now.
Yes, looks like it.
Because
Yes.
there was, the 2 was also going to come from road repair, so.
Yes, so 2 and 3 are now going to be the same.
Yeah.
Both number 2 and number 3 are going to come from road repair. Number 1 will be coming from CHIPS.
Chips. Okay.
So are we all okay about what is proposed to be done here?
Okay, how about thrilled?
So,
I know, I explained, Keith, how you came to these, why you decided to do
yeah,
this.
absolutely. So let's start with Curtis Road. Curtis Road is we're piecing this together a little bit. We're putting repaving some sections back in it, small sections. If we were to repave the road, you're talking, it's probably a 200,000 or plus road to pave. So I'm putting sections in it, but we're gonna resurface the whole thing. Resurface is just a stone and oil mix that it's gonna reseal the road. This is a road that's it's just over a mile long. If you let these roads go that are over a mile long, before it goes, it's on its last leg now. Before it goes, I'm trying to save the road with putting much less money into it.
It's hitting the worst parts.
Yeah, we're taking care of the worst parts. The rest of the road's actually got really good shoulders on it and stuff, so we can just chip seal. This is a 3-point process up there. They're gonna look at it at first and go, oh my God, what did he do to it? Cause it's gonna look like a zebra when you're going up the road. But once we stone and oil it, once the final process is done, it's gonna look like a brand new road for half the money. So, Gunderman Road is pretty much fully deteriorated. The shoulders are completely gone. It really needs some stability in the road. So we're actually going to repave the whole road, completely different from what we're doing.
Yeah.
up on Curtis Road.
So that, in case of gunner, do you take up the existing and then redo it, or you do it on
No,
top of
some,
it?
you can, in some cases, if you don't see it, you know, if there's not water coming out of it, we did address all the water at the top, but it's actually lying within. We widened all the ditches up through there. A lot of it, you don't see the work that we've done to it, but we've widened all the ditches up through there. There's one, I can't remember the address. I think it was 91 or something like that. We had to actually dig out their front yard, their pipe. It's actually the water that comes out of that section. It goes right down the shoulder.
Yeah.
It blew out all the aprons all the way down through. All the aprons coming off the driveways down below that were put in way too high. We cut all them down to alleviate the water that was coming down the shoulder.
Mhm.
So I strongly believe now we're at pavement, and I think pavement's gonna do fine, so.
Okay.
This being said, with this paving, this came up into this emergency meeting. Thank you for being here. But it came up because a lot of the people weren't ready with their roads because of all the rain we've been having, so. Sue Coe called me up and he says, you know, are you ready? And I said, man, we're out there hammering on them, but we're not quite there yet. And I talked with the guys, we worked hard, we got everything ready within the time frame that they could do it. So it's kind of, you know, usually we're about another month out for our paving, but sometimes you gotta act when you can get these guys. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're,
Well, otherwise it would have been late August, September, right?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, well, chip sealing maybe, but paving, you don't wanna be that far out, but sometimes, but it depends on what type of paving you're doing. Not cold mix, but,
Now, there's a good story on Lane Road.
and then Land Road.
Yes.
Yeah, let me
What are
get
you
to
doing
Land
with
Road.
Lane?
So Land Road, but let me also say that these numbers are all gonna come in a bit high. Suco usually is high on them, and I've looked at the
Meaning these
oil.
quotes.
I've checked the numbers on the oil. It's, yeah, he's over on his budget, which is good. I'd rather see a higher quote than have him come in way under. Now Land Road is actually, we've figured out at least 13,000 over. This is one of the recycled roads I'm doing. All these roads are different.
Mhm.
Land Road will be a recycled, we're gonna, 80% of the aggregate is all recycled millings.
Mhm.
And 20% of it was aggregate that we had to purchase out. But so all the aggregate on it, we're just paying for the oil and the maintenance, the rollers and the labor and the, but as far as that goes, that was a big expense.
So how did that compare? That's not, is that a hot mix in effect? When you do that?
Nope, that'll be a cold mix as well.
Mhm.
But we'll plug that right on site, and we got this big machine that comes in, and we'll plug it right on site and deliver it out to the pavers and
Cool.
a lot of trucking.
Yeah.
A lot of trucking and a lot of moving pavement, but. Yeah, there's all different types for different things, and these are 3 different scenarios. The only one that's really getting full pavement is Gunderman Road. Actually, no, I take that back. Lane Road is full pave. It's 4 inches or 3 inches compacted of
And then it's
the recycled, yeah.
You have to put base down on land, cause it's like dirt, right?
We've already ripped everything out of it. We've reprofiled everything. Some of the low spots that had zero grade to them were the potholes always form in the bottoms because they're flat in the bottoms. You need to grade more in the bottoms and actually
give it a little bit of a crown.
yeah, you want your best crown in the pockets, you know what I mean? You don't want somewhere where water can settle, and so we've worked on that. We've dug it all up. We've added more aggregate, some aggregate to the road. We've ditched it. We've checked pipes. We're going through everything before we pave them. We're not just
Yep.
laying stuff down and calling it a day, so.
That's good. That road is really bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, really bad.
Unfortunately, yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't last long when they did it. But,
What are the two, you've told me this stuff before, but
yeah,
the places on Gunderman where there's a patch of pavement missing now, what's that about again?
the patch on Gunderman.
Yeah, like before Comfort Road, it's
Yeah.
cut across, I forget what that's about. It's not a
Was
culvert,
it something that we dug out
I don't know.
by an intersection?
Yeah,
That's
near an
called-
intersection.
Called a rebate.
Is that where you do that stuff that it makes it stronger at that plate? I don't know, I don't
No,
remember.
no, the rebate, so like if you go up Curtis right now, because we're doing patchwork,
Mhm.
the folks are gonna be so upset that I didn't pave it tomorrow, cause I just got done ripping the rebates out tonight, so you go up that road now, it's bump, 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 the signs are all up, but it's bump, 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 bump. All the way up through there because it's patchwork. Gunderman Road, you're only gonna have two rebates, you'll have one on the top and one on the bottom, cause
Yeah.
it's a complete pave job,
Yeah,
you gotta
okay.
start to finish.
Basically the end point where you gotta.
Yeah, yeah, it just gives you,
It comes
gives you a
through.
little tiny bit of a bunker
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
can kind of
Just
land it,
start-
so you get a good seam,
Good-
and then
good
that
net.
way, when you chip seal, it
Yeah.
actually seals, it doesn't have water issues,
Yeah.
so. And then once you, it'll be,
Just starting and stopping place.
yeah, yeah,
So wait, when are you doing that,
Wednesday.
Gunderman?
I've already talked to your contractor.
Okay.
If that's what you're wondering.
That's what he did dig out the lilacs.
Different, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, and he got the lilacs.
Oh, did he?
Yes, so we're gonna go, we
Oh,
separated it off,
Good.
but thought those trucks, my God, they're
Yeah. I had him talk with him because he won't build a truck while we're paving, so. But he's good. Jordan's fine.
He's-
all set.
wonderful,
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. So,
Okay.
Before
Ted
you
has a
vote,
question.
Joel, there's a mistake in number 2.
What- what
We're
is
only
it?
allocating $5,500.
Oh, the parents.
Oh, sorry about that. I missed a zero.
Let's just move the pier. move the decimal.
55,000, sorry, guys.
Yeah, that would be quite the bargain if you could do
That
that.
would have been quite a bargain.
am I missing? Oh, right here, I get you.
55,
Yeah.
I'm missing one
Thanks, Ed.
zero. 55,000 it's supposed to be. Thank you, Ted.
Add that zero.
My
over
pleasure.
Well, with that amendment, I'm willing to move that we approve this agreement with the highway superintendent.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Okay, Mariah's vote.
Connors,
Yes.
Hunter,
Yes.
Stein,
Yes.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
Yes,
Excellent.
Can you sign this, Keith, right
Yep.
here?
and then.
And then we'll
sign
pass
it.
this
and-
around.
Yeah.
and we'll pass
So
it
with that,
around. We
thank
have
you
all
for
the
coming.
signatures on one copy.
Meeting adjourned.
Really excellent.
There.